Protestantism became dominant and removed or subjugated Catholicism, it eventually got tired of fighting itself and became secular liberalism. That is, removing Christianity from its place of importance in government and Western civilization. Two important examples of this are Britain and the United States. These two countries started as Protestant, but eventually morphed into the secular liberal societies they are today. There are many reasons this occurred, but it didn't help that many powerful Protestants became friendly to Judaism and Freemasonry. As a result of this liberalism,
And
many
he thought
Protestant
we could
groups
reorganize our work lives in a way that would make people more passionate. For example, you could divide people up into teams and have them compete against each other for honors, or rotate jobs throughout the day so no one has to work for more than a couple hours in any role. He thought you didn't have to force people to do this stuff. If a few intentional communities first set an example, he thought others would follow. They would be brought together by a lure of gain and pleasures, as he put it. If a unified society produced 3 times as much as an atomized society, people would be incentivized to unify. Robert Owen had a theory that people were products of their environment, and as such, he thought we should use our resources to make people better, make them happier, make them kinder, as seen through the lens of the 21st century, namely Marxism, Marxism-Leninism, and democratic socialism. There are many other types of socialism that either were briefly touched on here or not mentioned at all. For example, there are other types of authoritarian socialists, say in South America and Africa, who are somewhat less committed to Marx and police states, but also uncommitted to open and fair elections and rule of law. Syndicalism could also be treated as an honorable mention in socialism. Syndicalism is seen as an idea that has been long dead, but syndicalists were influential around the turn of the 20th century. They wanted a new society where trade unions were the highest political authority. But I think that's enough said to wrap things up. The purpose of the video was to answer the question, what is socialism? I'll give a concise answer here, but I think the rest of the video should be treated as the longer, more thorough answer to the question. So if the question is, what is socialism? I'd say it's a socioeconomic philosophy primarily concerned with shaping
engagement. Take, for example, the study of Hebrew. Now, there's a lot of things that are made about the Renaissance study of Hebrew, that people were really in-depthly studying Hebrew. But the fact of the matter is they were not doing it very well. If you go back and look at a first edition of the earliest Hebrew grammars, really all they had was a very short grammatical instruction, maybe 15, 20 pages. And the rest was word root studies. Not exactly a deep engagement. Well, what the Reformation brought in sort of a quiet way put an end to some of the things that were so scandalous about the sale of indulgences. Things like playing on the emotions of those in the audience whenever you're preaching an indulgence sale, for example. However, this document, this bull, stands tall and does not back down at all on the issue of the Pope's authority to issue an indulgence, and these things are binding in that they have an efficacious role in the Christian life. For Luther, though, this bull was relatively irrelevant. It doesn't actually come across his radar. Instead, Cajetan comes up to the city of Augsburg in 1518 in October, roughly a year since the posting of the 95 Theses.